First of all, I'm going to demonstrate the kettlebell clean. Okay, that's clean. That is clean. That's all there is to it. In order to learn to clean, though, if I told you to clean the bell, you wouldn't know what to do with it because you don't know where you're going with it. That's one of the reasons that the first thing we do is teach the rack position up top. Okay, this is the kettlebell rack position. Okay, I want you to notice that it has a couple of components that are pretty important to learn. Okay, first thing with the kettlebell rack, I want you to pay attention to the handle placement. My thumb and index finger is slid to this corner of the handle. So the handle is at an angle, so the outside of the handle is across the hip of the hand. The outside of the handle is in contact with my forearm. With the cast iron bells, some of the cast iron bells we have, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time achieving this, but we'll do the best we can. Competition bells, it's relatively easy. Okay? At this point in time, we have our hand placement right. We have good insertion into the handle of the bell. Now we're going to tilt the hips forward and drop the elbow down to the hip. Okay, another thing I want you to notice is that the hand is inside of the elbow. So the hand is more towards the midline of my body. This creates a triangle-shaped shell for the bell to sit on. Okay, so from this position, we can rest if we need to. We're in the middle of a tough set, and we need to rest. Our elbow is now on the hip, and we can rest. For those of you who have some flexibility issues, and you're having a hard time getting the elbow down to the hip, some people have a short humerus and a long torso, and so that makes it tough for them to get the elbow to the hip. Or some of you just have a little bit of extra in the way, in the front, and it makes it a little difficult. Okay, some of you are muscled up and you have a hard time getting down. Once again, that comes down to the flexibility. Okay, you find something. You got to find some place to rest your elbow. Okay, and maybe resting the elbow on the oblique. And we have some different techniques that we'll teach you down the line to help you get the elbow down to the hip. Okay, so real important. Now, how do we get there? How do we get there? Well, the first thing I'm going to have you guys do here in just a minute is we're going to squat down, insert the hand into the bell, put the other hand underneath and pull it up into a good rack position. Okay? From here, we need to understand how this feels. Okay? If we don't know how it feels and what it's supposed to feel like, then we're going to have a hard time with the clean. From here, if I were to just deflect my shoulders back as I roll the bell off my forearm, that's how we're going to drop it off into the backswing. Okay? So I'm going to deflect my shoulder back, let it roll, go with it, and roll it back on. Okay, look at my arm action here. I'm going to just flip the wrist like this. That's all I'm going to do as I push my shoulders back and deflect. Now I'm just going to go with it with my hips and roll it back on. Okay, another way to teach it and to get this groove, and we're going to ask all of you to do it a little bit, is to work into a swing. Okay, now we're swinging the bell. Now we start to put an acceleration pull. Notice I'm bending my elbows slightly, and I'm rotating my body. Once the bell comes up to this point, you notice where the handle is. If I were to insert my hand and bring my elbow to my side, you would have the kettlebell clean. Okay, so I'm going to swing, acceleration pull, now acceleration pull and slide my hand. Okay, and that's kettlebell clean. Don't make it any more difficult than it has to be. Okay, Steve Maxwell teaches actually a progression where he just says, roll the bell off, get your hips out of the way, and roll it back on. Very, very simple. And some people respond to that way of teaching really well. Okay? So we're going to teach you a couple different ways to perform this. All right, reach down, take a grip on the bell, pull it up into a good rack position. Pull it up into a good rack position. I'm going to come around, check the rack positions, elbows down, hands towards the midline. Those of you with cast iron bells, the arm's going to be a little closer to the body. You have a competition bell, you can move the hand out. Tilt the hips forward, elbow down on the hip. All right? Good. Your hand should be upright. This is a really good rack position here. Step out here, Rachel. This is good. Notice how her hips are tilted forward. I can press down on this bell and she's solid. Okay, she's in a good rest position. Okay, pretty good. Turn that handle. Okay, partner, step out front. Check the handle. Check the handle. Make sure it's at an angle. Okay, check the elbow. Is it on the hip? Okay.
Elbow on the head.
Okay, hands. Okay, this is what we want. Elbow down. Hands look good. Okay, partners, now step to the side. Step to the side. And right here, watch my man Charles here. He's going to just bring the bell off. Now deflect just a little bit up top. And now as it falls and the arm comes in contact with the torso, rock back with the hips, let it go. Keep the elbow at the side and pull it right back up. You notice there's a little bit of a pull here. And then you're going to slide your hand. That happens, I find, pretty naturally. Basically, if you focus on keeping the elbow at the side and changing your pivot point instead of from the shoulder, from the elbow, it seems to roll right on pretty naturally. Some people really like the thumb back approach with the clean because as you come down and you rotate the thumb, the bell seems to roll on. Pretty nice. If you go thumb up, as you pull, you just insert your hand through the handle and you're there. Okay, so let's practice the clean. Okay, pull it up into a good rack position. Okay, now don't pull back at the hips until the last second when your arms in contact with your torso. Now rock back and go. All right, nice. Elbow down, elbow down. Elbow down. Keep that elbow on the hip. All right, partners, step out to the side. Start coaching them up. What do they need to do? What do they need to do?
Elbow down.
Coach them up.